Hey guys, sorry like the lighting is like horrendous, but I just got to the Goodwill. It's like 8:19 and I am ready to get set, so I'm very excited. And oh, I see Eric right there. So we're gonna get started. I have all my stuff here, so it's like I'm moving. Let's go. Alright guys, here's like a quick view of everything. They're still gonna put curtains up in the back, but pretty much everything is done. Oh, this is my favorite section though. I love it.
County Goodwill. Just really quickly, the way we're going to break this down is we're going to go ahead and get started. It looks like there may be a few more people coming. We'll just let them kind of find their seats as we get started here. We're really excited to be able to provide these kind of events, and we're really heartened by the fact that people want to come in and learn from the bloggers that are following us and tagging us. We reach out to them and we say, oh my God, we would love to do something with you, and then give them the opportunity to come in and kind of work their magic on our stuff and then share that with you guys. So I'm going to get out of the way. We're going to go ahead and probably like for about a half hour, Hadrian's going to talk, and then we'll take half of you guys into the store. Hadrian's going to kind of navigate the store with that group. The other half will stay back here and get to hear the Goodwill spiel from me, and then we'll flip-flop, and then you'll be able to come back and do any kind of Q&A with Hadrian. Of course, I'm sure he'll take questions throughout the thing. So without any further ado, it's Hadrian!
Hi everyone, how's it going?
Hi.
How's everyone doing today? Good. I'm well. I was doing a little thrifting to kind of calm my nerves because it's like how I relax. I was like walking around back there looking at stuff. But thank you guys all so much for coming. Thank you for attending. I'm so excited. All these familiar faces, new faces. I'm so happy to meet all of you. And yeah, so I guess let's get started. I guess I'll start off a little bit with letting you guys know a little bit about myself, like my background and all of that, just in case you guys didn't know. I actually just started thrifting a little bit right before I started my YouTube channel. So I haven't been thrifting for a very long time, but once I started, I was like super passionate about it, and that's what drove me to start my YouTube channel. Because I was like, how do people not know about thrifting? Like, it's amazing. You can find some amazing stuff at amazing deals, and that's like what was instilled in me at a young age. Like when my family came here from the Philippines, we like lived in a little apartment, didn't have any money, and my mom just like, oh, like I need to get the best deal and all that stuff. So that's kind of like what drove me to get to this point. And my background is actually in biology. I majored in cell and developmental biology and with science my whole school career. Graduated, and now I'm here. This is how much I love this stuff. Like, it's amazing. Like, I was gonna go to med school, decided not to do that because it wasn't my passion. This is exactly what I love so much, and why I'm so excited that you guys are all here to share it with me. So let me start off with the first vignette over here. Sorry to make you guys like move around a little bit, but this is, what should I say? Sorry. This is my first little setup right here. This is kind of like the epitome of like my kind of aesthetic at the moment. It's always evolving, always changing. If you guys watch my YouTube channel, I'm changing the house like literally every week. Everything's getting moved around all the time, but this is like what I'm currently obsessed with. This table, I kind of made this. It's actually a mirror, and I put it on top of another mirror table. So I got this at the Goodwill, this store, last week. I had to buy it, I couldn't save it for you guys. I'm so sorry, I had to bring it home with me. Because I have actually been searching for this mirror for a bazillion years. It's actually a West Elm mirror that they discontinued, which is crazy. So I was able to find here for $14, which is amazing. And that table, the little table right there, I got that like a few weeks ago too. But everything else that you see right here is found from the store, in this particular store within the past week. So that just shows how amazing the Goodwill is, at how frequently they update their items and how you can just find something every single day that you come to the store. So that's kind of like what my little series is that I did with the Goodwill. If you guys saw that the past few weeks, for a whole week I had a new room makeover inside the house using the same thrifted items in each of the rooms, and showing how you can transform the space using the same items. You don't have to spend a ton of money to like make your house look beautiful. I'm always like trying to be on staycation at the house, so trying to relax and like keep everything nice and fresh and keeping me inspired, I think is one of like the most important things about your home. You know, you want to feel nice and happy when you're in there, and I think just redecorating and just like surrounding yourself with beautiful things, you don't have to necessarily spend a ton of money to get there. So in this space, my jumping off point was actually that painting right there on the chair. That was the first thing that I saw, and that's what kind of inspired me to find like the color palette for this whole entire little setup. People always ask and message me like, oh, how do you like decide on what colors you want to use or like what goes together? I say just find one particular thing like to inspire you, and my inspiration was that painting, and I just picked all the colors that were in there and then used it throughout the space. So you see the gold, you see the pink, you see the green, the cream, and all that, and then just adding different textures, different like surfaces, and all that, just like totally brings everything together, I think. And this piece, actually, this whole little like the little table right there, I just added that this morning. This wasn't here yesterday, and I literally moved the whole thing so I can just add that in because I'm so obsessed with it. I love that mint color, and again, it plays off of that painting right there. And then I also have like an assortment of other paintings that I found too that look fantastic with this. And there's this peacock that I found right here, which is really, really nice. I wanted to share with you guys. And what's crazy is I found this, and then I found the peacock bedding. This is Opal House from Target. So yes, the Orange County Goodwills do get these amazing things from Target. These are brand new and at a fraction of the cost. And these still have these inside the stores right now, so which is amazing. And I don't want to drop that. Okay. And so that shows you like how powerful the power of the thrift is. That's what I always call it, the power of the thrift. Let me just set these down here. And if anyone has any questions too, like feel free to like ask while I'm talking. But yeah, so this is kind of like this first setup, and then now I guess I'll move on to over here. If you guys watch the series, these chairs these aren't the actual chairs, but these are the same chairs that I use in every single one of the spaces that I renovated, that I changed up inside the house. I love these chairs so much, you guys. They're so awesome. They're outdoor chairs, but I use them in my inside spaces as well, and they just look fantastic. They're so modern, but they're still very like kind of like traditional. It reminds me of the Philippines, where I'm from. Like this is how like almost all of our furniture looks. So I think it's really, really cool to like kind of like go back to my roots and kind of like bring it back to America. And I just thought this was really fun. And I just wanted to add like the pops of the purple. Now you can see here, I love doing this. I get these like floral arrangements, like this. I just stick them inside another pot, like that. And it's like, bam, it's like new. And then you can do the same thing right here. How cute is this? Like it's so adorable, right? So I just love doing stuff like that to just like add a little bit of something to the space. I love florals, botanicals, and faux florals are my favorite because I cannot keep like live flowers alive. They tend to die on me. I'm pretty good at keeping like if it's just green, it doesn't have like flowers, I'm fine. But for some reason, if it's a flower, I'm gonna kill it. So I'm always like, I mix in the faux florals with my regular plants, and no one knows what's real and what's not. So they come to the house and think everything's real, just because like. So that's kind of like what I'm kind of have right here. And so, do you have any questions? So I just like keep talking. No, you guys are good. And then I also found I also kind of set up this whole space like to be shoppable. So like you guys can just like pick up anything. But these are really cool. I really like these little garlands. Now these are like little hanging garlands. But what you can do with these is you can just put a candle inside of it, or you can actually put one of the pumpkins inside of here, and it's gonna look super duper cute. So like how cute is this? You don't have to use like one of these, you use like a live pumpkin, and this would look super adorable. And then you can use this as a kind of like a centerpiece too for the table. So let's like segue into this little area that I have here. And here is like my quintessential holiday setup. In our house, I decorate for every season. I decorate for the drop of a hat, pretty much. So Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, February, just everything. We redecorating everything, change out the drapes, the curtains, and so this I think is such like a fun way to decorate using things found in the thrift store. My favorite thing right here though is probably, I got these last week. They actually had little spiders on top of it. They actually came like this, and these are wall hangings. And then I was like, well, I'm gonna take off the spider, I'm gonna hang the spiders on there and make it like a Nightmare Before Christmas tree, and then use these as chargers. So it's like a 2-for-1, and these are only $1. So you're getting bang for your buck for this. And then I was trying this out with just regular tape, but then I found these beautiful glass ones. And if anyone's interested in these are half off today, because they're purple tag. So you just, when you put them on there, you can still see the spider web, which I think is really cool. So that's that. And then you just have like your little pumpkin, you can do a real one. I really like these. Hocus Pocus is my favorite Halloween movie. I already watched it like 2 weeks ago. It's not even October yet, but so then I just like mixed and matched everything. All of like the glassware. They just like come in like little sets. You can just mix and match everything, and the garland and the pumpkins, just like layering, I think is key. I always like, people always laugh at me because I'm like a maximalist. I'm just like, if I just put like 2 things on the table, I'm like, no, I need more. And it's like, when you think it's enough, then you just like add like 5 more things. And that's like, for me, that's just like, this is literally what it would probably look like inside my house. Like, if this is like probably the actual setup that I would use. So, and then chairs, I think are a big deal too. I love the chairs here at the Goodwill. They are, so especially the ones from Target, I think are fantastic. But you can find some amazing chairs. I found an amazing Pottery Barn leather chair with an ottoman. I got it both for $60, and it was like a $2,000 chair. So you guys can get some amazing things here, including tables. I got a Pottery Barn table here too. If you guys have seen my upcycle of that on my channel, I put a marble slab on top of it, extended it by like 2 feet, and it is like literally my favorite thing inside the house. So, oh, and then over here, I couldn't leave out the clothing because I love the clothes here at the Goodwill. I actually read an article like last week about how the fashion industry is one of like the most polluting like industries in the world, right? I think I posted it too on Instagram, and so I'm like very into wearing or buying like pre-loved clothing, whereas like from Goodwill or from China store, the whole outfit right now is thrifted, and all this thrifted, and they're just amazing. Like you still get new stuff from Target, but I just love like these are Bottega Veneta. I got them for $8. Like these are like $1,000 pieces. Amazing. So you can find some really amazing things at the Goodwill, and they just do so much good also for the community. I just recently went to an event that they held with lots of like other influencers, and just learned about all the good that the Orange County Goodwill does here for the community, and how they just give back to people with boundaries. And I think it's just so amazing, and I'm just so thankful for the Goodwill to be here, and just super excited. So that is pretty much a little. How long did I talk for? 17 minutes. Okay, does anyone have any questions before I try to? Oh, these pillows. I change the pillows all the time. That's why I pull these. Pillows are my favorite. They're like, I call them pillowscapes on my sofa. And I just love mixing and matching different patterns, different sizes, different shapes, different textures. And I think the one of my rules for mixing and matching patterns is that you never want your patterns to be similar in size. So you would want like a big graphic thing like this, and then you can do like a smaller kind of print like that, or like say this print with a striped black one. Like that still looks fantastic together, and it's just like the print for different sizes. So there's that. What else am I gonna talk about? Oh my gosh. I had all this whole thing prepared for you guys, and the second I stand up here, I'm just like, but, oh, also one of the first things, if you guys, again, most of you guys are probably familiar with the channel, I love handbags. handbags are one of my, like, I actually worked in the handbag department at a department store, and that's how I kind of like got into them. Of course, mom was always into handbags as well, and you will not believe the amazing things that you can find at the Goodwill, like Chanel. I think my best find was probably a ginormous Louis Vuitton luggage piece at the Rare store. Has anyone been to the Rare store? It is so awesome. Everything in there is curated, and they just have such amazing stuff sometimes. And the prices are phenomenal, especially for like the more designer pieces, which I think that's like one of my favorite things to find, because I think that's so crazy that you can, like, people donate these things, and you're able to just get them at a fraction of the price. So I think that's like one of my biggest things about the Goodwill is how amazing like the savings are. Like, I thought that when I first started working and when I was in college, my mom actually got me to work at all these places because she wanted me to get discounts when we were renovating our house. Like, it's true. Like, I didn't know anything about decorating. I didn't know anything about anything. My mom was like, "Oh, I was talking to my friend at Pottery Barn, and she said that you should apply. You get a really, really good discount." And I was like, "Are you sure?" And she was like, "Yeah, I just work part-time." Worked there for 5 years. And that's how I learned about all this stuff. Like, I learned about furniture, I learned about decorating. And then working at that department store, I learned all about handbags and clothing. And I feel like my journey working through all these places that my mom kind of made me work at has brought me to where I am now. And that's how I kind of like learned all this stuff. So I think research, is also a really important part too about thrifting. Just like looking things up and knowing different, like this. Hi, Marsha, hi. Oh my god. What was I talking about? I totally forgot. Researching. Yeah, that's what I learned in college. Researching biology, had to read a lot of papers, and just take all that stuff, and researching about different brands and what they're made out of, and just like even like with the handbags and clothing, like you don't know what certain things are, and especially like I know like a lot of you guys here are resellers too. Just researching, I think, is so important for all of that as well. So I think that that is one of our biggest tools for learning. And then also just like going through Instagram feeds, like we have Kate right here, Salvage Dior on Instagram. She is amazing. I was sitting probably like a year ago almost at one of her events, and I was like, oh my gosh, this would be so cool to do. And here I am now, not knowing what to say at my phone. So Kate, I thank you so much. You're so amazing, and all your support like really means the world to me. So yeah, so just things like things that inspire you. Marsha's feed is amazing. So she's so good. Hi, Marsha. She's amazing. Her like style is so cute, and I just like try to emulate it too as well. So all that like inspires me, and I feel like looking at all that stuff will inspire you guys as well into just like cultivating your own style, being able to find things in the Goodwill. I know a lot of people say, how do you find all this stuff? And I'm like, you just have to look. And honestly, like, so one of my favorite tips is looking at the end of fixtures. Those are always fantastic. And then if you shop in the Orange County Goodwill, when they bring out the carts, all the stuff is brand new. So that stuff is stuff they're gonna want to look at when they announce it on Intercom. I just like make a beeline for the back of the store to like see what's on the cart. So it's one of my favorite tips. And also look where you think nothing's gonna be. So like go look in the plate section for a handbag. Like you never know what you're gonna find. People just leave stuff everywhere. People will hide stuff. I've seen people try to hide like a pair, like a single shoe, and one shoe will still be on the rack and another shoe will be inside a handbag. So like you just gotta look everywhere and you can find some amazing treasures. That's one of my favorite things, is the thrill of the hunt. That's why on my YouTube channel I call it Goodwill Hunting, not to be confused with the movie, but that's why I call it that, because it's just like every day just going out and seeing what you can find is just like amazing. So. Oh, question.
Do you shop daily, or do you shop, like, how many times a week do you shop, you think?
I shop once a week for the whole day, and I'll go to like a ton of different stores, and then there's one store by my house, because there's not many Goodwills where I actually live, and I just go to that one. I try to go there every single day for at least 15 minutes to see what I can find. And that's like one of my favorite things is like vlogging at that store for like that 15, 20 minutes in there. Because I feel like almost every day I find something, which is like kind of good, but kind of bad because I'm like always spending money. But it's truly remarkable what you can find at the thrift stores in Goodwill. So. Oh.
Well, I'm guilty of hiding stuff.
You're guilty of hiding stuff. I actually have done that a couple times. Like I'm going for it later. But you have to bring it with you. Like when you're shopping, never leave anything. Like if you're thinking about it or if you're on the fence, just throw it in your cart and think about it later because you're gonna go back there and it's gonna be gone. And also guard your cart because sometimes people will steal stuff from you. That's important. Yes, Marsha.
Okay, so your mom, according to your beautiful page, is an amazing cook.
Yes.
And I know that she's just started her own Instagram.
Yes. It's Hadrian's mom. It was a joke and then it became a real thing.
So I'm wondering, does she ever go thrifting with you?
She does sometimes. Yeah. Just recently she has, but like when I first started thrifting, she would actually come out with me, and at first she was like, I don't know. And then like that first time, like literally the first time we went thrifting, and she loves cooking, right? We found a Le Creuset pot. And one of those big round, like $15. It was here, $15. So, cookware, dinnerware, those are all my favorite things to thrift at the Goodwill. Especially because if I come home with like a new pie pan or something, Mom will use it to bake me something. That makes me everyone knows I love a good like baked dish. So, dinnerware I think is such a great way to transform a space. And you can get them at such great deals here. I have a China hutch in the house, all filled with just white Pottery Barn plates. Because I kind of try to stick to one thing. If I go crazy, I'm just going to buy every single plate that I see. So there are certain collections that I look for, and then it's even more fun when you find it. I can check that off my list. So dinnerware, bakeware, Le Creuset, sur la table, Pampered Chef. I always find Pampered Chef pieces, and those are amazing. I remember in our old house, our oven never cooked evenly. I feel like I'm a Pampered Chef commercial right now, but with that bakeware, it did cook evenly. Like, it's really amazing. So you can find some amazing stuff, and that stuff is really expensive, and it's something that you can actually give to your children and your children's children, because that stuff lasts forever. So, like that Le Creuset set that, who had it? Like some famous person had it, like, and then she passed it on to her children. And it's crazy that how long that stuff can last for, and I think they have lifetime warranty, so you can send it out to get fixed. But yeah, so dinnerware, I love thrifting that. Oh, toys for the kids. And for adults. They have like these amazing boxes. I had to get all of these, so if you guys want one, these are really, really nice. They're $10. And these are like, they're wooden. Let me pass these around so you guys can see. The quality of them are like so cool. And you can come here for gifts. I buy presents all the time. Every time I go thrifting and get something for the kids, I'll probably buy one of those. Actually, I'm probably gonna buy everything here that you guys don't buy. Like literally everything here I love. So.
I'm not taking that table, that's mine. Just letting you know.
But yeah, so thrifting for presents, the kids, like kids' toys. They come and go so quickly. My nephews will just like break it in like 2 seconds. So why not spend $1 on it instead of like $25, $50? So I think that, and it's also a great way to keep that stuff out of like landfills and keep recycling stuff. And some of the toys are like they're really good toys. Fisher Price toys last forever. Like those wooden toys, Legos. Oh my gosh, Legos! There's such a huge market for Legos too. And that, those little cars, you know, cars like the movie. They're so expensive when you buy them brand new. You can get a bag of them for a few bucks. So it's amazing. Any other questions? Oh, I think we're at 30 minutes.
You guys, okay, so let's go ahead and we'll break the group in half. So why don't we kind of use the camera as a splitter, and we'll have you take that group out.
Okay.
And then the other group can stay, and we get a little goodie bag and hear a little bit about Goodwill.
And we're gonna go in a little square.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Hadrian.
I didn't get donuts. Gotta guess.
Yeah, make sure you grab a donut at some point today. Awesome. So I'm going to hand these out really quick. Here you go. A little swag bag for you coming today. A little thank you. Inside what you're going to find is our annual report, which we like to always hand out just so you can kind of see what's going on with the money that we're making and the amount of people that we serve and all of that kind of good stuff. Here you go. There's also a little mug in there that Hadrian brought a little gift mug for everybody. So there'll be a little mug in there. And there's also a $10 gift card. So hopefully if you're inspired today, you can go out into the store, see what you can find. A lot of this stuff, there is some stuff here that actually Hadrian brought that is his own, but that's all marked. But a lot of the stuff, most of it, probably about 90% of it is for sale. So absolutely take advantage of that. I like to use this portion of the little event to kind of talk a little bit about Goodwill and what we do so that you guys kind of understand really what our mission is. So the Goodwill mission here in Orange County is that we want people who have barriers to employment to be able to find a job and work to their highest level of independence, right? So that can be different for a lot of different people. A barrier can be a physical barrier, it could be a cognitive barrier, it could be a language barrier, it could be that you have raised your family and you've been out of the workplace for 20 years and it's a completely different landscape now. So what we do at Goodwill is kind of try to help those folks find employment. And so that's really the crux of what we do. We do have some other programs that I want to talk a little bit about that people don't really know about. One of them is our fitness center. We had a board member who was injured in a riding accident and was no longer able to walk unassisted. But while he was recovering and going through his physical therapy, he met a man who was also going through physical therapy, and they became friends. And after a few visits and going through that, his friend was no longer there, and he asked what happened, and the friend insurance had run out and wasn't able to kind of get the advantage of having that physical therapy anymore. And that really affected our board of director member, and he didn't want anybody who was going through such a traumatic thing when you're really, you have a terrible back injury or something like that and you're really struggling to kind of get yourself back together and heal and become strong again. So he vowed that he wanted to open up a place where people would be able to work out, receive physical therapy, and feel, normal, really, honestly. And so we built the fitness center. And so when you go to Crunch or 24 or any of these places, they have handicapped parking, they have handicapped bathrooms, but none of the machines have to be handicapped. So, what do you do, really, honestly, in that sense? So at our fitness center, every single machine there is adjustable and available to pretty much whatever your situation may be. And then we actually even have a lot of really specialized machinery there that helps, like say you can't walk, right? You can't stand. We have a machine that they can transfer themselves into and actually pump themselves up to a standing position. And for someone who's in a chair, they're looking up a lot. Their whole perspective on their life has changed. So when someone stands up again and kind of is able to look someone in the eye, that's a profound experience for those people. Plus that core strength that helps build, even though they may not be being able to use it to walk, it is still important for them and their overall physical health. So all of the machines have that kind of thought in mind as the way they're designed and the things that they can do. And our fitness center is what we call a non-funded program. We don't make any kind of money on that. So that's one of the things that really benefits from people shopping and donating with us. That money that we're able to raise, which 92 cents out of every dollar that we bring into the store goes back into those programs. So we really push to keep our overhead as low as possible. Obviously buildings cost money, electricity costs money, paying our folks that work here costs money. So we really kind of watch that and try to be as clever as we can about keeping that cost down so that the majority of the dollars that you spend, which we know are hard earned, go back into those programs. And you can feel good about coming here and shopping here. About 97% of everything that we take in gets diverted away from the landfill. So whether that's through recycling or through repurposing or through reselling at the stores, 97% of that stuff does not end up in the landfill. We have over at our corporate center what we call a marketplace, right? It's like an auction. So it's very much like storage wars. right? So they give them a couple seconds, everyone's like with their flashlights looking and stuff like that. So it's kind of the same idea. So everything in the store here has about a 5-week lifespan, right? It comes in, it gets tagged, that 5-week lifespan happens in the last week of its life here in the store. It goes to 50% off, so you'll see on the signs and throughout the store the color tag. That's how that works. So whatever's left over at the end of the week gets pulled and sent back to us, and then we auction that stuff off. So we have folks that come in, they pay a fee to have a card, which is refundable if obviously they don't buy anything, but they go in there and they bid on these Gaylords, and the Gaylords are large cardboard boxes that usually buy your pumpkins out of at the market. You'll see those big old boxes. That's what a Gaylord is. And I had to look that up. I really didn't believe them. That was the name of it when I started, but that actually is a real thing, and that is a definite merchandise. And ours tend to be a little bit taller than the ones in the market. 400 of those a day go through the system, right? So when guys were buying these, and a lot of folks that buy those are down in Mexico, they come up here and they're using it to put in their stores, their little tiendas down in Mexico. So they would go through those Gaylords and they may say, well, I want this, I don't want that, I want this, I don't want that, and they were throwing that stuff away, and we're like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. We don't want to see all that stuff in the trash. So now what we do is we give them these large carts that they're able to go through and put anything that they don't want in those carts, so that we can take that bag and pull out the paper, pull out the cardboard, pull out the plastic, whatever it is that we can get out of there to keep it from going into the trash. We hate throwing things away. So we really, and again, our senior leadership has been so clever about figuring out ways and finding those secondary and third markets that can take that stuff and keep it from going into the trash. Another program that we have is our VETS program. We just were able to acquire a building about 3 years ago where we were able to open up our Tierney Center for Veteran Services. Tom, and Elizabeth Tierney, who are local philanthropists here, gave us a really large donation, and we were able to go ahead and open up that space. And what's really, really interesting about it is that, it's not so much a space where you come and it's like, I need food, or I need a house, here's a house, kind of a thing. It's more about, what do you need? How can we help you navigate the system, right? Because there's a lot of services available for vets, right? And it can be very, very confusing and confounding, and to kind of navigate all of that. So what they do is they assess, and then they match them up with a cohort who kind of walks them through the system and helps them to find those resources that they need. Now, we do have an emergency fund, so if someone can't get to a job interview because they need new tires or they don't have enough money to put gas in their car, we can help them with that. And that is basically a loan. They pay that back. They don't want the handout. They take it on as a loan. So and then will pay us back once they can. And what's really what you have to kind of keep in mind, and what's really nice about the Tierney Center, is that we're starting to reach out and collaborate with other veteran services that we can house in our space, because we're fortunate enough to have a lot of space there, so that when the veteran comes, they may get assessed at the VA, which has offices in our location, and then they get matched up with their cohort, and then they may take them upstairs to another space that really isn't Goodwill, doesn't have anything to do with Goodwill, but they service veterans, so that person can go there and immediately kind of start the process. And when you're deciding between, I'm getting better, I don't cry nearly as much, but when you have to decide between putting gas in your car, or eating, or paying your rent and being able to put gas in your car, that matters. When they're watching every single dollar, that really makes a difference. So we're really happy that these organizations are willing to partner with us and come and be housed inside of our space so that we can service more people. Again, that is an unfunded program, so we really rely on those donations. The stores bring in about 70% of our overall annual budget that we have, and really, our goal is to spend everything that we have. Like, at the end of the year, we're not like, oh, we made a tidy profit this year. Our whole goal is to be at zero at the end of our fiscal year. So 70% of that is from the stores, so that's obviously super important to us. And we have 25 stores in the region. We have 5 boutiques that we're super excited about. We love those. And the other 30% comes from monetary donations, people signing up for a reoccurring gift or making a one-time gift, from anything from $5, and up. I mean, really, honestly, all of that helps. All of those little drops in the bucket really make a big difference. So that other, and then of course grants. We also reach out for grants and try to win as many grants as we can as well to help us with these different programs. We have our ATEC Center, which is another unfunded program, which is really important, and that is, ATEC stands for Assistive Technology Education Center. Oh, electronics. I'm so embarrassed I can't remember exactly what it is, but what that basically boils down to is that if, say, you're quadriplegic, right, you're in a wheelchair, you can't use a keyboard, right? So going on the internet, being able to kind of connect with people, being able to look for a job, all of these things are obviously difficult. And so what we do is we match them up with technology that exists, like it might be a wand that follows their head and they can kind of point it at the letters on the keyboard and it'll type for them, or it may be that their sight is affected and they can't maybe read, so we can match them up with technology where they can lay the book on the reader and it'll read for them, or it'll actually download the books and read them out loud to them. So students and things like that have taken advantage of that. Even autistic kids, kids that are somewhere on the spectrum. So a lot of those kids are non-communicative, right? They have issues, they have difficulty communicating. So we match them up with technology that allows them to say, I'm hungry, I love you, whatever it might be. And so we match them up with the technology, they take it home, they try it out. If it's a good fit, then we help them write the scholarships in order to get those things funded for them, so that they don't have a cost to them for those items. So again, that's another thing. And these are just little, programs that we have that, people don't really understand or know about, and kind of are outside of, say, like the job, wheelhouse of where we, kind of sit normally. And so, does anybody have any questions they want to ask me specifically about Goodwills? Nothing at all?
How can you volunteer?
Well, that's a great question. We love volunteers, and what I'm really working hard to do is, because for us, there's an organization that stuffs backpacks for kids, right? So getting 100 people to come and stuff backpacks, or maybe a food bank type of a situation where everyone's packing boxes for a Thanksgiving. We don't really have a program like that doesn't work. What we're trying to do is figure out the best place for people and how they can volunteer. So we're working on that. And so keep your ear to the ground. We're going to be launching our new website next week, so we're super excited about that. And we're really, want to have a nice volunteer program put together by that time. So keep your ear to the ground and definitely check back. What I would like to see is that, our stores could use help. Whether it's, opening up the dressing room for folks or helping to hang stuff up. And I feel like that, and because we have the stores all over the region, it would be an easy thing for you to get to, where you're not going to one place that maybe is tough to get to or something like that. So we're looking at a lot of different options there. So Goodwill, in the way Goodwill works, just a little bit about this really quickly, is every Goodwill region has its own CEO and its own board of directors, right? And what that allows us to do is to really pinpoint what is needed in our community, right? So what's happening here at our Goodwill in Orange County, and ours is actually pretty much, defined by the edges of the county, right? So we service all of Orange County. So when you spend your money at the Orange County Goodwill, that money stays here in Orange County and helps people in Orange County. And last year we helped just shy of about 27,000 people in Orange County. So it was a lot of people. And there's more, and we want to help more. So that's how we're always trying to open new stores and find different ways that we can connect with the community, like this type of a situation. And so say here, we have a lot of programs like the Help the Vets, and we have the ATEC programs, our fitness center, and all those kind of things, which we love and we feel really strongly about. But in Tennessee, that Goodwill may have a different set of priorities. And so they have different programs in place that help their community the best. So it's really nice that they're able to kind of do that in order to kind of really hone in on what their communities need and serve their communities the best way that they can. Yes?
We actually live in Annapolis, so I guess that would be a different region.
It would.
So how would we find out what benefits our community?
Well,
well,
here's
the website's coming up next week.
Well, that would be for Orange County.
Oh,
so that would be Orange County's website. Now, your area, and here's the funny thing, right? So, Southern California Goodwill, right, is Greater Los Angeles, all of the Inland Empire, and Riverside. So you can imagine how big that region is, right? I think they have 80 plus stores in there.
Yeah, we got two just in Upper.
Yeah, right. So it would really be best to go into Goodwill Southern California And then like Solac, what we call Solac is southern Los Angeles, so that's like Long Beach and Torrance and Sunset Beach and all those like coastal cities. So it isn't always defined by the edge of the county. And I know that with some of the Goodwills that I've talked with, they actually cross state lines. And so they might be like southern Kansas and northern Oklahoma, you know, and so it really just depends on how they were able to kind of carve out their little space. But thank you so much for listening to my little spiel about Goodwill. I really appreciate it. We're going to turn you over to Hadrian now, and he's going to take you out in the store and help you kind of see how you navigate an aisle, and then I'll go ahead and chat with these folks. I'm going to go hand out these 2 bags that I have, and then I'll go get some more for the rest of you. Here's 2. There you go. Hadrian put in a little mug gift for everyone as well, so there's a little bit of a gift as well. Oh, thank you. Are you bringing the Have fun. You've got an expert. Definitely utilize your. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for. It's. I can't tell you how to believe about Goodwill. I can only tell you that my experience and what it means. And I try not to cry. What it means to me and what I've seen working here and the transformation that has happened with folks is real, and it does mean something. And you know, for some of the folks that work with us and some of the people that we support, the paycheck, the thing that they get, is really not within their realm of understanding, right? They don't know really about the value of money and all of this other stuff. For them, it's about the friends they have at work, getting out of their house, making, you know, connections, and that's really the main thing, because, you know, it wasn't always like that. Back in the, you know, the world has changed so much, and back in the day, you know, it was like embarrassing. We don't talk about that, keep the person in the house, whatever. And, you know, what's really nice is that, you know, seeing that transformation of that person when they come in and they're so secluded, they're so closed off because they've had no interaction. And then as they gain friends and as they gain confidence and, you know, the amount of fun that they have, that is what I'm talking about. And, you know, you have to make your own call on that, you know, at some point. So, again, I just want to thank Hadrian for being so kind. He'll be here hanging out. Obviously, thank you guys. We could not do what we do without folks like you who come and shop at our stores and donate things that you no longer need, so that we can pass them on to people that will enjoy them. So I definitely invite you to stick around, talk with Hadrian, have a donut, enjoy our store, and have a great rest of the day. Thank you.
Alright, you guys can shop around? Oh yeah, I'll move my stuff. Sorry, some of my stuff, some of the stuff.
I'm in the car now and I am losing my voice. Literally the worst. I didn't like take any pictures really with anyone. Well, not with my phone. I took pictures with you guys, which was so nice. So I'm gonna have to like get my photos from the photos I took with you guys that you guys took. I don't know what happened to my brain. It just like stopped working and my camera was dead, and yeah, so I'm in the car. I have everything packed up from the event. It was so much fun and it was so nice to meet all of you guys again. You guys like are so sweet, and thank you for everyone. Like, some people drove out so far, and that just like I can't, like, that's amazing. So thank you guys again so much. And it was a blast. I was nervous and excited and just like every emotion all into one. And yeah, so anyway, I'm off to go do something. It's gonna be a lot of fun, but you guys are gonna have to wait to see what it is. I'm gonna have to, I'll let you know later on in this video when that other thing is gonna go up. See you guys.
So I'm definitely feeling the fall here. Okay, this is only $1.99. Like, I can do it like that. And then I got my big pumpkin down at the bottom. So yeah, I'm still thinking about the pumpkin. I'm not 100% certain. But now that I have my knickknacks to start out, I do love a good knickknack. So, oh my gosh, I used to have one of these. It's like a expensive